All right, we're broadcasting. Yes, welcome into the Hey Techie Show. We're going to get started momentarily once we get everything, all the recorders set and going.
Yep. Last minute messages, last minute stories, last minute everything.
Oh, yeah. Show prep is going as we speak, as always.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, I'm going to let you.
Oh, do you want me to?
Whenever you're ready, you can mute our mics and play them.
You're not going to do a cold open? Okay.
Not tonight.
All right.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techie Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Welcome into the Hey Techie Show, episode 75 tonight. And no Bruce tonight. Unfortunately, he could not be here, and he's in parts unknown. I think the Philippine Islands, maybe.
Really? Is that where he's
the
at?
Philippines,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
maybe an island off the coast of Jamaica.
We miss you. We miss you, Bruce.
I don't know. I don't know where he's gone. But we do have the Guru here. How are you tonight,
I'm
Guru?
doing fantastic. How are you, Michael?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. And just enjoying this rain that we're getting in our area. And I understand from Facebook that they lifted the burn ban here in the area, so that's good.
Everybody can pull out their brush piles and trash barrels.
That's right. Start burning away.
That's right. You just burn, baby, burn.
Pardon me. Well, we're so glad to have all of you in. And, of course, this is an internet show tonight, so we're pre-recording this, but it shall play on the radio. We were hoping to be live, but it did not work out. But we do hope to be in studio on the 15th and the 22nd. That is our plan for the final two live episodes of the Hey Techie Show in 2016. Man,
this year is going by so fast.
It's about done. It's crazy. And all the stuff. I mean, me and Guru were sitting here an hour before, still pulling in stories, doing show prep, just crazy. And you can contact us on heytechieshow.com. That's well, our email address is, all our
Facebook, Twitter, it's all there.
That's correct.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop. You can get to us on Facebook, Twitter, Hey Techie Show, Facebook.com, Hey Techie Show, and Twitter.com, Hey Techie Show. And that will get you there, and you can give us your questions. Normally we'll take questions on the phone, and next week, hopefully, Lord willing, we'll be able to do that. So we're looking forward to that. And a lot of interesting things going on this week. A lot of tech stories out there that'll be fascinating, or it's fascinating to me. Amazon's out here now saying, hey, we're going to open up this new futuristic shop, basically a supermarket.
So a supermarket's now futuristic. I guess it is to Amazon.
It is this way because they're, I'm not going to give it away. We'll tell. I'm sure other people have heard about it, but we're going to give our take. And a couple of other interesting things like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. I just learned it's just broke. They are developing or in the plans of developing a system where they are cataloging terrorists.
Oh, really?
Yes. So like a terrorist watch list.
This is Facebook, you said.
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Of course, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are also on the hot seat, among other of those, for the EU.
Of course.
And we'll get into more details later. But the EU and those folks over there have a interesting view of what we would call freedom of speech. They have a little problem with it. You know, freedom of speech really is a United States thing for the most part. A lot of other countries do not have any kind of documentation that says, hey, you have a respect to have freedom of speech. You know, that's unique, really, to the United States founding. No other constitution has this protection worldwide of freedom of speech. And, you know, and now that that a lot of this stuff, internet is worldwide, and they're bringing these ideals out that we support here at the United States, it's become a problem.
Yes.
In a lot of these other areas that do not. Now, some people will say, well, you're talking about hate speech. Well, but who's to say? Somebody's hate speech, for somebody who thinks one person's hate speech is hate speech, it may not be hate speech to everybody. So that's the issue, and we'll talk more about that. And then we've got all sorts of crazy stories. I got one about a couple that we'll talk later on in the show. You'll have to join back with us or stay with us and stick around, obviously. But we'll probably second hour, me and Guru will be talking about some pretty interesting stories too as well. And you know what we end up with in the second hour. Our dose, we always end up with This Week in Tech History. And you want to stick around there because I'm going to try to guess.
Yes.
And it should be comical.
It will be very entertaining. I guarantee.
So what's going on with you? I know this weekend you're going to be somewhere else.
Oh, this coming weekend.
Correct.
Yes, right? I'm going down to L.A. and not Los Angeles, Lower Alabama, as some people like to call L.A. I've been blessed, I guess you could say, very thankful that a couple years ago, a friend of mine said, "Hey, my mother does this Christmas concert at Troy University, and we'd love for you to come down and see it." So I went down there as their invited guest and watched it, and I was like, it was worth the drive just to go watch a 2 hour.
Sure.
It's like a 2 hour Christmas concert with local students at Troy University, local talent. It's done for the Troy Arts Council. It's a fundraiser. Well, then I enjoyed that first year, and then the second year said, "Hey, we want you to come film this for us. We want a video of it." So for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been their videographer. So I kind of have to circle that date on my calendar early on and make sure I don't get anything conflicting. So yes, Friday I'll make the drive down to L.A.
Yeah,
and
exactly
film that concert, and we'll have it'll be a wonderful time. So if you're near Troy, Alabama this Friday, I don't know if there's tickets still available or not, but just
I've seen it and it's pretty amazing.
It's Sheila Jackson and Friends holiday concert.
Wow.
Is what it's
and
called.
I've seen it and they do a great job.
Oh yeah, Sheila Jackson. She's a very talented musician. She can sing she can sing all different styles. All different genres of music. She can go from singing popular songs to singing opera to singing. I mean, just the whole gamut. Like the first.
She can sing like there's no tomorrow.
There you go. She's sung for our governor before multiple times.
Yes.
And the way this concert is structured, the first half is more popular songs, different genres of music. Then the second, they have intermission, and the second act is the Christmas part.
Cool.
And they even have children come up there and sing, do songs. I mean, it's an awesome concert. So if you're within a couple of hours driving distance, this is well worth going to Troy University. And I know that's hard for us to say here at JSU because for years there are bitter rivals in football, but Troy University has a great music program, a lot of talented folks down there, and it's a good fundraiser for the Troy Arts Council. So.
Yeah, it surely is.
So if you want me down there, check it out.
Of course, our blessed JSU Gamecocks unfortunately did not pull it out this weekend,
I know.
And they're no longer in the would be the playoffs, I guess you could say. Playoffs. But anyway.
They can sit but now an armchair quarterback all the rest of the people still playing.
Well, it was a tough game.
Yeah,
and I think pretty much everybody knew that it was going to be a pretty tough game. If the other team, and the other team was Youngstown State out of Ohio.
I hadn't even heard of Youngstown State before.
Well, I can truthfully say I had not either and didn't know they were from Ohio. And but yeah, they played Youngstown State. It was a tough deal, and we came up a little short. So, but I guess we'll parade on. Of course, our band is going to be over in Hawaii.
I know. When they leave, within the next few days, don't they?
Well, they'd have to. When is the celebration? I mean, is it going to be on? I didn't look it up. I meant to look it up.
Man, I wish.
I'll have to look it up in the break.
Yeah,
When
we'll find
we'll
out
figure that
because
out.
the actual anniversary of Pearl Harbor is on Wednesday.
That's correct. Who's had somebody else's birthdays on
yeah,
Wednesday.
somebody else is that day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people probably, but
Yeah.
yeah, on December 7th is Wednesday. So I'm thinking if they're not traveling tonight, they're probably traveling tomorrow. I would think 'cause that's a long flight.
I would think so. I'm
not sure the time was
but
so-
yeah.
but
I'm
yeah.
assuming they're going to have this on the 7th. You would think. I mean, that 75th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, if my addition is correct.
It is.
But anyway,
60th year of the Southerners and the 75th year.
yeah, that's
you know,
right. 60th
of the
year of the
Pearl
Southerners.
Harbor.
Wow, Pearl Harbor happened 15 years prior to the Southerners. That's something amazing, and of course, I don't know if you're going to call it celebrate. We recognize it's a memorial. We recognize what
Yes.
happened, and we celebrate the lives of those who were lost. Obviously.
According to a source here, they're leaving the 9th for Hawaii.
Oh, so it must not be.
It must be on this weekend.
It's probably the weekend, so they're just gonna. It's probably a weekend thing. That makes sense. Wednesday would be not really probably
yeah.
a
So that's from this source here. So we'll
the celebration must be over the weekend.
yeah.
Of course, a lot of the collegiate games, I'm talking about football, I finished up, and there'll be a few over the weekend here and there. I think Army plays Navy, some things like that.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah, there was a big game in Atlanta. this
there
past
was
Saturday.
a little bit of a game in Atlanta.
Yeah,
this
just
past
a
week.
little bit. So two teams by names of University of Alabama and
Yes,
University
but
of Florida.
That's correct. Yeah,
Oh, just two little small teams.
yeah,
that's
it's
all.
quite the game, actually. But anyway, and I hope everything's going well for all of you, and we really appreciate you being with us. And we are going to cut to a break here real quick, and the studio's got to pay some bills. So me and the Guru will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
Sydney's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Sydney is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Sydney's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Stress of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Strutt serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to struttswings.com.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa.
All right, Guru.
But as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Well, you know,
You
people.
don't like my song selection?
Well, I don't dislike it, but you know, people get offended on that song. Did you know that?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. There are people that have lost their grandparents in
Oh.
whatever. I'm serious. No. I'm not saying don't play it. I'm saying there aren't. There was even a story, and we don't have it. And I'm not going to fool with putting it on here. But many years ago, a choir had to stop singing it or not use it for their choir concert because somebody got
Really?
upset. Yes. Absolutely.
I had no idea.
That is
We have
that is
no
the truth.
intention to offend anyone on this
That is
show
the
with our bumper
truth.
music, so I'm terribly sorry if that offends anybody.
No, we're not. I wasn't bringing that up.
I just thought it was a cute song. 'Cause I
It
remember that
is.
from my childhood. You know, it's one of those they play on there. It's like
Of course it is.
You
It's
know.
funny.
back then, no one got offended by stuff as easily as they do
Yeah,
nowadays.
right.
You know, I mean, I'm just making an observation here.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, anyway. All right. So we've got this stuff. This is interesting to me. I've got this little article here about Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. I just found this. And apparently what they're doing, it looks like to me, is they're creating images to fight online extremism. Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Microsoft even announced they would create a database of hashes, a way of adding a digital fingerprint to photos, videos that allow them to be easily identified by other networks of people, I guess, who have been flagged. And there's an example given. If a terrorist Twitter account posts an extreme picture, Twitter's moderators would report it to the database, and staff in Facebook would then be alerted if the same picture was posted on Facebook.
That kind of makes sense, though. I mean, because they can kind of embed that in the picture. But
Let's see here. In August, let's see, I don't know who MPs. I don't know if they're military police. Who are they? This abbreviations are frustrating to me. And it comes down. Let's see here.
is this Telegraph article you put out here? I'm just trying to. It's a little behind the scenes making of the sausage, kind of. What I was just trying to scan through it with you.
Oh, I thought I put it out there, didn't I?
Yeah, I see it. I see. I was asking, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
But it's and the thing is, we use social media as and I put how am I trying to say this? When people created Facebook and Twitter, when the people that created them, like Zuckerberg and those, I mean, it was just to share what's going on and all this, kind of the social media. But like, unfortunately, these terrorists are just using it to their advantage, and that's sad, because I don't think anybody, at least no one in America, I would hope, would want this to happen. I came out so stupid. I'm so sorry, but but they're just using it as like a way to get their message out and to communicate, and it's just it's sad. It hurts everybody eventually. So
Yeah. Well, shoot, I don't see an explanation of this. I guess I'm just supposed to know as a person what they're referring to as MPs. MPS. MP little s. Not, yeah, sure, I know well.
MPS. I don't know. After
Becoming a vehicle of choice for spreading terrorist propaganda, but websites are policing billions of accounts and messages with just a few hundred employees.
You got me there, Michael. Wish we had Bruce here.
Oh, right. Like he would
Let's
know.
just get him on the phone.
No, it's okay.
There's several references to MP little s, and I'm not sure what they mean by that. When you say MPs, I'm thinking like military
Well, that's
police,
what I was
but that's
thinking.
not. I think that's not the right.
Certainly
MPs.
can't be.
Yeah.
Why do they do this? I know this is something saying, well, you should know that, Michael. I really should.
Well, guess what? We're not journalists for a
Well,
living.
I mean, but I'm not. I don't even know if it comes down to that. I just, we're using these terms, and it's like everybody should know what you're talking about. Oh well. Yeah.
So, let me see. I had something I want to share. It's not related to terrorism, thank goodness, because that's just. But let's see here. So apparently, the Trump team is reassuring AT&T over its the Time Warner merger review. Trump has vowed to block the sale during his campaign, but early signs look good for AT&T. So maybe he may have to do a little backtracking on one of his campaign promises. This is an article from Ars Technica where AT&T is reportedly feeling confident about its ability to buy Time Warner after meeting with President-elect Donald Trump's transition team, even though Trump himself vowed to block the merger during this campaign. So, but the transition team, this is a quote from the Financial Times. Donald Trump's transition team has reassured AT&T that its $85.4 billion acquisition of Time Warner will be scrutinized without prejudice. After talking with President-elect's team, AT&T executives are confident that their deal has a good chance of passing regulatory scrutiny. People informed about the conversation said. So I get very uneasy about all these huge media companies merging. I mean, we had the one with Comcast when they merged with NBC Universal.
Right.
And NBC Universal, they used to be two separate entities. So it kind of scares me because I understand the reasons why they want to merge, but what bothers me is the media companies control so much information.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what bothers me is there's just the days of where you could go and find unbiased what's actually going on. Those days are over, and
Right.
that's sad. That is
Now,
so sad.
AT&T just recently released a new streaming service, and it's intended to get at cord cutters, and a lot of them are pretty aggravated about it, mostly because most cord cutters, they really, at the end of the day, let's be honest, they want something for nothing. I mean,
They're trying to save money.
I understand the whole concept, but you can't. You're not going to be able to get TV for free like you used to be able to.
Yeah.
Broadcast TV, there was a lot
Right.
of things that wasn't on broadcast TV. Can you imagine the things that HBO shows now that would never make it to old-time broadcast television?
Right.
Plus, they wouldn't be commercial free.
No,
You're going to have to pay a premium at some point if you want this type product. I mean, I'm sorry.
Especially like an HBO, it was always a premium channel. You didn't get that as part of a
Right.
basic subscription.
Well, most
to
people all
anything.
know that. Of course, unless you had
Yeah.
one of those things where you're stealing it from the satellite waves,
Well,
which a lot of
that's-
people
that's
do.
a-
And a lot of people steal their television and whatever they got. I mean, there's sites out there that literally you can get movies where you shouldn't be able to get movies. All these kind of things. Mm-hmm. And, of course, a lot of people write this off in various ways in their mind, whether it's right or wrong. Well, these people are billionaires and gazillionaires, whatever. I understand that.
Yes.
I really do see that point of view, but I don't agree with it. However, there is a new, for instance, with this new pricing, like in Guru, I think this is to your point.
Yeah.
They're so big already. AT&T, they're so big already. I'm a little leery about them getting this too. I don't know that it's the best for the whole industry to have these two conglomerates, because AT&T owns a lot of stuff already. They've gobbled up all kinds of
I
stuff.
wanted to look that up before.
But for
before we got on-
instance, you can get in this new system, and AT&T is offering it for DirecTV. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's through DirecTV, as my understanding, but it's Go Big packages over 100 channels, $60 a month. They're going to be $35 a month. It'll include free Amazon Fire TV Stick or Apple TV with a paid service. Let's see. Now, the packages, some of the packages will do this. Leave a little, $35 a month, 60 channels. Just right, $50 a month, 80 channels. Go Big is the $60 a month, which will be reduced for an initial rate. It's 100 channels, and you've got to have it as a $70 a month, 120 channels. And I don't know if you've seen this. You may have, but have you seen the Dish Network advertisements where they're showing you can have the channels you want and not have the channels you don't want? They've got a feature
kinda
where you
build-
buy a
build your
base
own-
package
build
and
your
then you
own.
add packages and channels. But at some point you have to wonder about, is this a la carte going to cost too much?
And that's what we talked about that on the show before,
Yes.
because cord cutters that try to just buy internet service and then subscribe to HBO Go and Hulu Plus and whatever other service you want to subscribe to get different content, you start to wonder how much is it going to actually cost you in the long run. And that's one thing that bothers me is you start adding 10 or $12 for Netflix and same amount for this and that and another, and I gotta have this too, and it's just like you ended up paying the same amount at the end of the day.
Did you
You
know,
know-
I didn't realize this, but DirecTV now at this moment, and this is not an ad for them. I just reading this as I find it. HBO and Cinemax are $5 a month if you're a DirecTV subscriber.
Oh, really?
Normally, so if you go on that, let's say, but their HBO Go or Now, I always get that mixed up. It's like $15 a month, I think. Something like
See,
that.
I just don't subscribe to a whole lot of those things.
No, I don't
I'll just
either.
my personal. And I know people are like, man, Guru, you're just weird. But I'm saying to myself, I just don't watch much television.
Right.
I mean, I watch.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
a handful. You agree that I'm weird?
No. I agree. I don't watch a.
Well,
I
mean,
I
I
watch some television, but I don't watch a lot of different channels.
There you go. I watch a little bit of news. I get news from different sources. I'm not going to
Sure.
say where, so tell if I'm left or right, but I'm keeping it.
I'm
down the
very
middle.
much right, so I can tell you all
But,
about it.
I get a few places I get news, local news, national news, and then there's just a handful of shows I like to watch, and they're different, whatever. It's just a handful. I mean, fit in the palm of your hand, literally, and that's all I watch. And I mean, if it wasn't for other people living in the house with me that want to watch stuff, I wouldn't even have a satellite television subscription.
Yeah.
Not because I want to be a cord cutter, because I just don't.
Right, exactly. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I got you.
But I was trying to figure out what all these two companies own together, and
Oh, please. I think you'd be better on trying to read the sands of the sea.
But here's the current assets of Time Warner. Now, I couldn't find one for AT&T, but we've talked. If anybody that's been around last decade knows they've been gobbling up stuff. They bought DirecTV a few years ago, but all the HBO, Cinemax, all those, I guess you can say channels, but all those properties, they own that. Turner Broadcasting System. And here's some of your favorite networks like True TV, TBS, TNT, TCM, Turner Sports, Turner Sports and Digital Network, NCAA.com, March Madness Live, PGA.com. I mean, NBA Digital, they own that. Turner Entertainment Digital Group, The Smoking Gun. I guess that's I don't know, that must be a channel or something. I don't know.
The Smoking Gun.
Universal-
It's a website, isn't it?
Oh, it may be, but they own that. Universal Wrestling Corporation, formerly the World Championship Wrestling, assets now owned by WWE. I'm reading this from Wikipedia. TBS, Nonstop Television, includes Cartoon Network, TNT7, Voom, Showtime Scandinavia. Of course, they own our network, the first to get it wrong, CNN. All the CNN, news properties. I mean, it's just crazy. This is a lot of stuff. I mean, you can go look at this on. Let's go to Wikipedia and search for it. But you've got Warner Brothers Entertainment. There's the Warner part of Time Warner. Oh, man, and 18. Ooh, they own 10% in Hulu. How about that? I did not know that. And they've got investments in some other things too, and I've never heard of many of these. So I'll just. They don't own the Atlanta Hawks no more. They sold that, of course. Or AOL. Really, they sold AOL off. I did not know that. I thought it was still part of the AOL Time Warner. But anyway, I think these large media companies is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump, if you're listening, I know he listens to this
That's
show.
right.
Y'all need to scrutinize this with every level of scrutiny possible.
Yeah.
It's got to scale that 50-foot wall in order for you to pass it. So there you go.
Well, of course, the FCC is trying to come down on AT&T, and all of them, as they always are. And I didn't know if you've seen this, and I've got this article out there as well. They're saying AT&T is violating net neutrality rules with the DirecTV data cap exemption, which is what they're referring to. A lot of these, many of these millennial cord cutters, they're pretty upset about this, is my understanding. And basically, the gist of this is that AT&T wants to offer a service that's lucrative for people to come over to get their service.
Well, they own DirecTV now, so they want to say, well, you can bundle your packages
That's
and get your
correct.
wireless service and your satellite. Because
Now-
I'm a DirecTV customer and I am not an AT&T customer, and AT&T realizes that, and they've really been sending emails.
Sure, I
and-
get junk all the
and
time.
letters and all this stuff like, bundle your packages and save. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be an AT&T wireless subscriber. I've done that, and I'm not.
But
anyway.
this right here is talking specifically, my understanding is talking about this new service where they're streaming channels. And so
Okay.
what AT&T is wanting to do is on those services I think it's FiOS that they're using.
FiOS.
FiOS or whatever, however you pronounce it, I think is my understanding.
Well, that's their what you call it, Uverse.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. Basically, they're going to use that, and they're not having a data cap on that.
Oh,
But they'll put data caps on other type of data. Well, this has always been a big thing
yep.
that people are upset about.
So you're gonna meter their bandwidth for like Netflix.
Well, that's what
Or-
the FCC is saying.
But if you subscribe to this streaming service, it won't
Yeah.
cost any of your bandwidth. Yeah.
But okay, so fine. I see all the points that everybody wants to make about this. I do. But here's the problem that I see.
what's the problem?
Here's the problem I see. AT&T, and this is their service. You're paying to use their, so they're actually creating a competition in a way, because they have a service. If you want to go sign up for it, you can save money doing this, X, Y, and Z. If you want to go over to the cable company, you can go over to the cable company. Now, some areas they're going to say, well, I don't have enough choices. But if we make everything that where it's neutral supposedly, what will happen is it will limit competition, because AT&T can't be different. If everything has to be the same, there can be absolutely no competition, because no one can have no one can serve up something different than your competition can do. Now, some people call that level playing field. I get it, fine and dandy. You can have that opinion. I don't agree with it. I think it's dangerous, because if you don't let companies if the company has ability to do, and that's why I wish Bruce was here, because he's going to be shouting at me.
Oh, I'd be like, oh, man, I wish Bruce was here. That's why I was.
Well, you can shout at me. If you don't agree, you don't agree. I don't care. I know other people will have their opinions, and I get it. I really do. I'm not angry at anyone. I just don't think. I think that in general, the FCC is trying to limit competition while saying they're not limiting competition. That's my opinion. That's the way I see it. I know a lot of people would disagree with me, but I really feel like that is what's actually going on at the end of the day. Now, if you don't like what AT&T is doing, then go find another carrier. If you're in an area where you don't have another carrier, then that is a problem.
I just think this is setting up for a dangerous precedent, because if this is allowed to happen, then you're going to have a situation where, well, I can save money or don't use my bandwidth if I get this service, and that's going to cause others to not be able to get the customers, which eventually they could lose their business and could shut their doors eventually, or it could prevent barriers for new streaming services to come online. It's not very.
Actually,
it hurts. I think it's going to hurt.
But if you could compete, my point is if you could offer whatever you wanted to offer for other streaming services could offer whatever they wanted to offer. If everybody had,
here's the thing: is AT&T is they're also the provider of your bandwidth, your
I get that,
your connectivity, and that's just they're too big. They're being too big.
Well,
I
don't think they should merge.
Well, I agree with you.
But I don't know if I don't know. I just don't think
but they'll squeak it out somehow, like they always do.
Well, maybe they might.
But we'll see. But I just think this is a bad idea. You should treat all. I got a suggestion. Let's just do this. Let's don't have bandwidth caps, because, as we've said many times on this show, there's no cost for that bandwidth.
I know.
Once the infrastructure is in place,
yeah.
Granted, there's a finite capacity, but they've got so much unused capacity. It's ridiculous.
I know. Bruce has all the numbers.
I'm channeling my inner Bruce.
Yes.
And man, I wish he was here.
I know. He could shout at me.
He can say it so much better than I can.
No, he could shout at me. Well, he would be shouting by now. He wouldn't be saying anything.
Oh yeah, he would have.
Yeah,
he would have.
I had all this. I wanted to discuss it with Bruce, because I know he would disagree, and that's fine. Everybody can disagree. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't agree with this whole, as they're calling it, zero rating for the.
Yes.
That's what it's called in this article.
But now some zero ratings, the FCC does not disagree with.
Correct. But I just think it's just going to hurt other people that are not internet service providers or not your internet service provider, because the lack of choice is part of the problem too, and I think we all suffer from that in this part of the country. Again,
Yeah, I get that. I do. I understand what people are saying. I haven't had this issue that I know about yet. Of course, I have the slowest pipe from AT&T possible, so I don't think I even come close to any kind of data cap for any way, shape, or form. But I know it is an issue in different areas more than it probably is here for some, because there are several different options. But there's only about a few. There's not many. And in some places, they don't have any. They don't have any way to get
well,
internet
I will say
in their
this:
area.
the geographic location I live, your only choice is cable internet.
Yeah.
DSL is not served in that area.
Yeah.
UVerse is not served in that area.
Yeah.
It's either cable internet or cellular.
Right.
That's your choices.
Yeah. Well, and I could move somewhere where there are no choices, period.
Oh yeah, I
in
know.
the
You
area.
go a couple miles from this campus we're on right now, and you have no choices but satellite or cellular.
But see, I think that's a whole nother discussion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's got anything to do with data caps. I could be wrong, or any of the
Well,
other things.
We've
I
got
just
this
think that's a
country has
whole
got
nother-
to get serious about getting broadband like they did rural electrification back in the 20s. We've got to do that. We're doing all of ourselves a disservice by not having that.
Well, when we come back, we'll discuss something else, and maybe get further into our news articles. Guru's got a few for sure.
Yeah, I do.
Be interested. So don't go away. The Hey Techie Show will be right back.
You can call, chat, tweet, email, or use that book face thingy. We're watching it all, even that book face thingy.
Struts of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Struts serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to strutswings.com. Sydney's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Sydney is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Sydney's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Have yourself a
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
Christmas. Let your heart beat light.
So glad to have everyone with us.
And we hope you have a merry little Christmas.
That's
as well.
right. That's right.
It's getting that time of year.
It
I know
is.
last Thursday we had the local Christmas parade here in
We did.
Jacksonville. Always a wonderful turnout for that.
That's exactly right. It sure is.
A lot of high school bands were in at this time. There was about, I think, 6 or 7, if my count is correct. Maybe 6 high schools plus the Marching Southerners, and of course a lot of other floats and entries, and of course Santa Claus. Can't forget Santa Claus.
No, cannot forget Santa.
Santa
Old
Claus on
Saint
top of the fire truck. Got to have that.
Let me finish up our little discussion here.
Sure.
Add a little bit of other news that would be connected to our previous stories that we were talking about. And Netflix, by the way, you knew this, Guru. I think they were announced downloading. That's been back a while, but I think it's just recently more details have come out. And several of the shows, they're going to have a list of shows where users can download the movies and watch them later. Not actually connected to the net, not streaming them, but they're actually downloaded. Of course, now they had to get approval, obviously, because that's a whole nother concept.
Oh, it's back to the content owners.
You're storing it in their content somewhere instead of just streaming it. And
Well, they had to have some the people that own the copyright, the content providers.
Correct,
I guess
right.
you would call them, but not content providers. The owners of the content. Yeah, they're probably got some
content creators.
concerns there, obviously, because they want to make sure that probably there's a time restriction on that. Maybe when you download, you have so many days to watch it. I would assume.
so you can go to available for download.
Are they-
A good many of their shows that they've done themselves, I believe, are going to be downloadable through the app.
Well, that's a good thing
And
because
watch
there's times where you may want to download it at home when you have a fast internet connection to watch it on the go when you may not have one at all or don't want to use your cellular internet, or there's times where you just can't get internet.
For instance, if you're interested in Parks and Recreation and Mad Men, then those shows are going to be some of the titles. Now, Amazon Video, they offer some of the free TV shows and movies, for Prime members.
Yeah.
And they've been doing that for a while, and some of that lets you download some of those for offline viewing.
I did not know that.
Yes, that we covered that earlier in the year that they were allowing you to do that.
My memory's not as good as it used to be, I guess.
Well, neither is mine.
Anyway, but I think that's a good thing. That's good for consumers, and maybe since they're doing a lot of their own content, they'll see how successful maybe these other studios and stuff will be like, okay, we're good with that.
So, anyway, but you were talking about a local story here.
Yes,
Guru.
we talked about this while we were in the commercial break. The Calhoun County school system, which this city of Jacksonville is not a part of, but a lot of the surrounding communities around Jacksonville are a part of the Calhoun County school system. They got some laptops recently. They had they got some extra state funding, actually $200,000 worth of state funding to help pay for these devices. They got 1,309 brand spanking new Chromebooks. They came in right before Thanksgiving break. So, they're starting to get these things out to the schools.
Yeah.
They were put into the system, 17 schools, plus its Career Academy and PASS program. So, like I said, they're Chromebooks, which is each high school got 3 of the computer carts. I guess there's carts they come with, which can charge 30 devices at a time. So each of them got around 90 devices. So it's not enough for every student, but it's still, that's, a classroom set times 3 there. So,
Okay.
the article really don't go into details what they're going to use with it, but I know from some people that that work with the County school system, they're heavy Google shop. They use a lot of the Google apps.
Okay.
And I think some of the teachers have went through the Google certification. There's that process
Right.
that the teachers can get that extra training through Google, and it's a good thing. Anytime you get extra technology, and I think the Chromebook's a really good platform because the Google apps are good, and of course, and it's a little. The cost is lower than like what you've got in your hand, that iPad. And
Right.
I just think an iPad, that's just not the best model. I think there's some applications it's good, but it's not the one size fits all that Apple sold it to be to some schools. 'Cause
gotcha.
some schools drunk the Apple Kool-Aid.
Easy now.
Well, I'm just calling it like it is. I just think that's an overpriced device because with schools, especially public schools, they don't have tons of money. So you get a Chromebook, you can still get the same effect in delivering technology to the classroom and use it in the classroom at like half the cost.
Yeah, I
So you
understand.
can get either it's half the cost or you get twice as many devices for the
Right.
same money.
Yeah.
So it's because some school systems, just like especially these county schools, they don't have a lot of extra money laying around. They can't do that 1-to-1, so they're trying with this, and they can. That's a good 1,300 laptop. That's a lot of devices for $200,000. I mean, that's $200,000 a lot of money, but
Yes.
I'll give kudos to the county schools. They did very well in choosing to go with Chromebooks.
Yeah.
So-
And I think if I'm not mistaken, we covered earlier the year before the school year started, Gadsden City, they had bought mini Chromebooks. They were
They did.
they were
They did.
giving out Chromebooks to their entire. Well, I don't know about their entire, but a group of maybe this the high schoolers. I don't remember how many it was, but it was quite a few.
Well, let me correct myself. It was actually $400,000 in cost. There was I guess the school system had $200,000 that they used of their own, and it was probably like a matching grant. They had to spend that to themselves to get the other 200. So,
But
anyway, I want to make sure, in all accuracy, we don't want to make sure we're being. I'm sorry, I misread that again. They actually got that money. All 400,000 they got through the state grant.
yeah,
Sorry,
that's
But
okay.
That's good though. So $400,000. Hope they invested in wireless infrastructure.
I was fixing to say, I wonder what kind of investments they had to do as far as infrastructure goes.
Probably a lot. And I know there's challenges too in some of the places these schools are actually at getting the actual backbone of internet to them.
Right.
Because at least in this county, the county schools are more in the rural areas of the county.
Yeah.
Where,
Well, you have heard us talk about on many occasions here recently about the new products that have been out, not only for Microsoft, but certainly Mac. And apparently some people have been delving in to the Mac Pro's Touch Bar. And
yeah, I shared my thoughts on it last week.
yes, I know how you feel about it. I've actually got to put my hands on one, and I really think it's a great product as far as it goes about the idea of it. I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm not.
yeah.
You may hate it. It's fun. But I actually think it's I can see some uses that I would use it for in my work, actually. But, however, apparently many who are playing around with this new product and are dealing with it are saying that they're having problems with it, such as power, that it's not powering up the device long enough. The battery runs out eventually.
Well, they all batteries run out eventually.
Well,
I
it
mean,
runs out quicker, apparently. They're saying that they're having problems with the batteries lasting as long as they think the battery ought to last.
I think it should last forever. Just kidding.
And I had the article up right here, and I've got so much up, I cannot find it.
Let's see. I think I can find it real quick here. Yeah, so
No, that's not the one.
and
That's
some
another
users are
app.
claiming as little as 3 to 6 hours of battery life on a single charge.
That's it.
Or between 30% and 60% of up to the 10 hours advertised. So there's
That's
the thing.
it.
So there's a quote here in this Mac Rumors articles from one of the forum members. I guess it was talked about in the Mac Rumors forum. Currently, I'm powering a 1080p external monitor and casually browsing with Chrome. At full charge, I'm getting an estimate of 3 hours of battery life. With gaming, it's even less. So that's on not put a heavy load on the system. Another person also commented, I bought a maxed out 13-inch touch bar model, and I've been using it for about a week. With light use, I've been consistently getting around 5 to 6.5 hours when mainly browsing. Apple claims 10 hours wireless web, but my battery has never lasted this long.
Wow. Yeah, well, I can see where it's going to use up maybe more power.
And then
I mean,
another forum member from Mac Rumors experienced a 5 percentage point drop in battery life from 10 to 5% in just 12 minutes. Google Chrome, known as a battery hog, was listed as the only app drawing significant power. Yeah, so apparently Apple's got some work to do on these devices. And I hate that for Apple because they've historically had really good devices, but I just we've said this before since the departure of Steve Jobs. Bless God rest his soul, but ever since he's left, it's just like they've just been putting out a bunch of crap.
Yeah. Here we go. It's all Steve's job. It's
Well,
all
Steve-
I know it's all Tim Cook's fault, right?
It's not. I'm not saying it's Tim Cook's fault, but I'm just saying. But Steve Jobs, he was one of these. He was a perfectionist, and in
I
this
know.
case, the consumers were the beneficiary
Well,
of
there it is.
his being very perfectionist-like. I don't know if that's a good term to use, but that makes sense. I hope it does because that's all we want to say.
No, I got it. I know what you're
But
saying.
yeah, and I think there's probably a different culture now, and they're trying to get stuff out the door. Maybe it's not quite as ready for prime time as it was, and this may be happening with other brands and other devices. But people are like, well, this never happened with Apple. So you're kind of starting to offend your audience, the people that may have went to Apple in the first place because of the quality. And you start
gotcha.
losing that quality, it starts making a question, and then you got people like Microsoft that are coming after you with these I mean, it's not Mac OS, but they've got some very interesting and innovative devices.
I
Do we
actually
not agree?
think that some of this is going to eventually be fixed in in software release updates.
Well, that or like a firmware, but same
or
thing.
firmware software release updates. Something like that.
But this would have never happened with Steve Jobs. Just saying, it would have been fixed prior to before getting in the hands of a consumer. You didn't hear this happening, Michael, a couple years ago when Jobs was still around, did you?
Well,
no, you
I
did not.
think they had problems with their phones when they first came.
Well, that was
out
the
at
antenna
times.
gate because you were holding it wrong.
Yeah, well, that's your fault, right?
That's right. You just holding it wrong.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly right.
I mean, you had some, but they're few and far between. They just keep on happening. Apple just can't get a break lately. I told you how I feel about like the new iPhone 7, that haptic feedback on the
you don't
home
like
button.
it.
That's
I
not really a
know.
button.
You don't like it.
I do not like it.
I know.
Just like I don't like their keyboards. They're awful. But I will say this.
Says Guru.
But the Surface Pro, not Surface, no, the new Surface Pros.
I know you gone over there. Yeah,
The new Surface Pros 4s,
Yeah.
they redesigned the keyboard cover, and those keyboards are a lot better than the Surface 3s.
Really?
Yes, and the Surface Book has the same keyboard too, and it's very, very well designed. So I give kudos to Microsoft on that. So there you go.
Okay.
But I know Apple, they'll get this fixed, but people just got to be patient. But sometimes us Apple juicers are not too patient.
We're not. You're not.
We've been kind of jaded by the whole problems with Microsoft
Well,
and Windows and PCs.
Some people are questioning about what exactly are they? Why did they do this?
Do what?
Like, why did they create this bar? Because some people are saying they're really fixing non-existing problems. Like were people clamoring? It's almost like, is this a gimmick, or were people clamoring for you to change the function bar? I mean, how many?
It's just one of those. Oh, look what I can do.
Look what I can do.
That's what it is. Also, there's real quickly. I know we're up against a break. I'm sitting there trying to glance at the monitor. We got our timer, but
we got to make sure we're hard break here.
Yeah, but there's also some issues, some graphics issues with these new MacBook Pros. There's some increasing number of early adopters that have reported serious graphics issues on the latest notebooks. The glitches and other problems appear to be most prevalent on built-to-order 15-inch models, but the standard 13 and 15-inch configuration are also affected. So, there's some videos in this Mac Rumors article. Of course, we'll have in the show notes as always, but it's just weird. I mean, there's screens. People took pictures and stuff. It's just the graphics are glitching and this weird artifacting on the screen. It's just again, Michael. I'll say it again. This would have never happened with a Steve Jobs Apple. This stuff would have been fixed before it went out the door. They got in a hurry.
Well, possibly.
Just like about everything else in this world, they get in a hurry. Got to get it out the door. Got to get it out the door. Yes, I'm pounding my hand on the table. Got to get it out the door.
Oh, good grief. By the way, if you are wanting to purchase a SSD, according to a couple of articles that I have looked up here, and one from DRAM Exchange, they are saying that you better buy quick because NAND, which is basically the NAND supply, which actually is what makes up the SSD inside,
right,
that production is slowed down some.
Uh-oh.
And
not good.
And it's going to probably cost you a little extra this year if you keep waiting and to purchase in the Q4.
I better get
They're going to say that now, of course, some of that has some of the new 3D NAND. Okay, it has more layers. It's much more dense.
It's 3D.
Yes, correct, 3D. A lot of that apparently, some of that is behind in manufacturing. Is from what I gather this to understand. Of course, it's new, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're saying manufacturers will have 3D NAND manufacturing online by this time next year, according to this. But I was thinking 3D NAND was already.
That's the first I've heard of 3D NAND. I don't follow the hardware stuff as much as I used to, unfortunately.
Well, the NAND 2D NAND, and that's not what it's called. I'm just using that. It's not called 3. It's it's just called NAND, I think. Trying to
needless
remind
say,
myself.
If you're on the fence about buying an SSD, you better go ahead and get it now.
Well, coming up next, our dose. We got 1 hour in the can, Guru.
I know, it's going by so fast.
Yeah. Well, the Hey Techie Show will be right back. Our dose coming up next.
You've listened this long, so stick around for Our Dose.
Technologic. Technologic.
For just a few minutes. And we'll be starting back again once we get reset here for our dose.
I'm ready
We're
now.
actually recording a little bit of sausage making back here. Exactly how we make the sausage. We're recording 2 54-minute segments to go on the radio show. So I'll have to do a little less editing than normal. Normally I have to cut off about 2.5 minutes out of a radio recorded show to do for the rewind.
You're not going to know how to act.
I know.
Dude, when we get back
Just
on the
crazy.
get back on the live radio, and you're gonna be like, man, it's easier to add than to take away, especially when you're doing 2.5 minutes. I'm glad I don't have to edit this show.
Well, sometimes it's hard to figure out what to cut out, actually.
Because it's all so good.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
I don't think we have anybody watching this. Let's see.
Well, that's okay. I'm sure we don't.
Let's just see real quick before we get back on. There's nobody in the chat room. I guess Micah.
Well, we're probably not chatting with him. He's probably cussing me anyway if he's in there.
Let's see.
Michael don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's nobody watching.
That's okay. That's all right.
They're missing out.
That's right. They sure are. Well, we're going to record anyway.
We ready to start up?
Let's see. Whenever you're set to go.
Right. So, me to go ahead and mute us?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start it off?
Yes.
Okay.
Technologic. Technologic.
Trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it.
Welcome into the Hey Techie Show, our dose. There's Bruce.
Yeah. I forgot I had it turned down.
A little
just
bit of Bruce.
So. Yeah, it's still playing.
That's okay.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. Well, we're so glad to have everybody in for our dose, and we expect an interesting second hour to close out this fun evening. And, of course, it'll run in the daytime, so on our Hey Techies Rewind show on Sunday. And we hope you can join us for that. If you missed it tonight, or you don't catch all of it Thursday, pardon me. My days are getting mixed up here, Guru.
It's hard to do this time of year. We got
Correct.
I know all of our personal calendars are so full with different extra activities between church and school,
Correct,
and
yes.
work and family and all that good stuff.
But if you're listening on Sunday on our Rewind show, we hope to have a live show on Thursday. Oh, man, I cannot talk.
On Friday too.
Apparently so. We're going to go from Thursday to Friday.
That would be fun to try to do like a.
Oh, please.
You know, a couple of years ago, like I think on this is back. I'm dating myself when I say this, but back when Tech TV was still around, like
Yes. Oh, yeah.
you know, Chris Perillo and Leo Laporte, I think did it too. They did 24 hours of like tech help.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure they could.
I don't know how they did it. It's hard enough to do in a couple of hours. I mean, after
Well, if you get people calling or talking to you, then you can interact off of what they're doing.
yeah,
You know, and
well, yeah, that's
I wonder
true.
how many of the same things they discussed over a 24-hour period. I forgot about
No,
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting.
Let's see. I was trying to go through my list here of what exactly.
Well, I got something. I got something while you're looking through this. I
What-
found
what-
this.
what we
This is about
covered.
Uber.
Uber.
So everybody knows about Uber.
Yeah, they've been-
unless you've been living under a rock, you know, Uber is
Yeah.
that service where you can hail a ride. And
Correct,
Through,
yeah.
through their app, and they're undercutting the taxi cab services, and you know, it's you know, there's been a whole lot of controversy here and there, but you know, I think it's starting to get accepted more and more because a lot of airports you can actually hail an Uber if you're arriving like into a city. Recently, I went to Miami, and I mean it's. They got it, you know, agreement with the
Yes.
with the Miami airport folks, and they do charge an extra $2 fee to pick you up at the airport. But you know, I think the taxi cabs charge that too. But this article, you know, of course, Uber has to know where you're at. Obviously, you know, it's a location based.
Mm-hmm.
But here's one thing that apparently is happening with Uber is they're now tracking you after your ride is over.
Oh,
Yeah, the ride-hailing service said the surveillance, even when riders close the app, will improve its service. So they're acknowledging they're doing this. So there's a screenshot here. This is from Ars Technica, but it's that you've probably seen this if you have an iOS device. It says, you know, allow Uber access to your location even when you're not using the app. You know, some apps have that. Some say, you know, you can have your location only when you're using the app if it's configured. And of
Right.
course, apparently, at some point, I don't know when this actually was put into the Uber app, but they have that ability if you opt in and allow it. But the thing is, if you say don't allow, then they don't know your location. Period.
right.
So you have to, you know, manually input where you're at. So, you know, there's Uber announced that it would make the change last year, apparently, to allow surveillance in the app's background, prompting a Federal Trade Commission complaint.
Of course.
Electronic Privacy Information Center said at the time that this collection of users' information far exceeds what customers expect from the transportation service. Users would not expect the company to collect information when customers are not actively using the app. And of course, that complaint went nowhere. However, users must consent to the new surveillance. A pop-up like the one they showed in the article, like I was just describing, it asked them, you know, do you want to approve the tracking? Uber says on this site that users can disable location services through device settings and manually enter a pickup address. So I know some apps, I meant to look at this before we got on the air, is trying to do it with my phone real quick. There's some apps you have the choice of, you know, don't allow,
Right.
or always allow, or allow only when using the app. But
Yeah.
but some apps don't give you that choice of allow when using the app.
Okay.
And that's the problem here. I'm gonna check see what Uber's is doing.
I've never used Uber. I know that's shocking. I get around so much.
Uber's a good service.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, now at least with my version of Uber, allow location access never while using the app and always. So if I would just go and check your under settings, location services, Uber, and then see if you have that option while using the app. If you have that configured, then if the app is not in focus and not being used, then Uber will not know your location.
Oh.
I guess the default behavior is always, and that's when they can get your information and know where you're at.
Gotcha.
And I want to get out of that person's. When I get done with Uber, I don't want them to know where I'm at. That's none of their business. You know? So just be aware, folks. Be aware.
Be aware, huh?
Be aware. Be very aware.
Be very aware.
That's right. And use Uber. And
know,
if you want $20 off your first ride, just send me an email, guru@heytakeshow.com. I'll send you a link.
If you use WhatsApp, by the way, it's going to stop working
Really?
older phones and older OSs. Like, for instance, the iPhone 3GS, which was a very popular phone, and I actually had one that somebody gave me, and it worked for a long time, just Wi-Fi. Apparently, it's going to stop at the end of this year. According to this article, it'll also cease to function on any iPhone running anything older than iOS 6. I think that's what they're saying. Running
Wow.
iOS 6.
I'm surprised
So
they're
I
still
must-
I'm surprised they're still supporting iOS 6.
Well, they're apparently not going to stop.
I guess
and if
we-
you're an Android user, apparently anything running 2.1 or 2.2, a tablet, or will cease to function.
Wow. I didn't realize they were supporting that.
It says
far
any
back.
phone released between 2010 and 2011, which hasn't been updated.
Well, if it's,
But
if it's a 2010 or 2011 era phone, it probably can't be updated.
Well, that's what I was
And it
thinking.
probably been updated for many years.
But
when's-
another thing,
see you said the 3GS was the iPhone.
and the Windows 7, anyone still using a Windows Phone 7, version 7 will not be able to. Also, BlackBerry and Nokia users.
I remember the 3GS. Man, I saw a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was first released in 2009, so it's a 7-year-old device.
Right.
Apple discontinued it in 2012. I'm trying to see what the highest iOS version it ran. I'm trying to find it, and of course it's not.
Oh, the highest one, it would run 6.
Would run 6. Okay,
6 something.
6 dot something.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Man, that's a long time ago.
Pretty sure on that because I think that's what's on the one I still have. Now, it will work on the Wi-Fi for a while. One problem it's having is it just the Bluetooth crashes. I don't know if you can't, for instance, I could take a stereo cord because it still has a headphone jack.
Yeah,
And I could
unlike
use
the
it as an
7.
MP3 player from that. But if you wanted the Bluetooth, eventually the Bluetooth would just stop working.
Yeah, so you got
Some of the Wi-Fi,
so
sometimes
if
the
you have-
Wi-Fi just goes off.
So you can use your old wired headphones with it. What you're saying?
Yes,
Because those are antiquated according to Apple.
apparently so. Yeah, that's true. Those are antiquated.
Don't get me started about
Well, they're-
that.
Speaking of that, they still don't have those AirPods.
They don't.
No.
I didn't look for them the last time I was in the Apple store.
Well, they don't have them. And
That's
the latest is they're
they're
expecting it by Christmas, but I don't know
Merry
about
Christmas.
that. Yeah,
Maybe.
right. Also, BlackBerry and Nokia users will find that. Oh, let's see. I'm sorry. People who have these phones are safe until June 2017. So BlackBerry OS, BlackBerry 10, Nokia S40, and Nokia Symbian S60. So if you are somebody who uses WhatsApp, you have any of these old devices, which would be very surprising, but nonetheless, it's still possible. It's going to quit. Some of you will quit earlier, and some of you will still work till sometime in 2017.
Well, I
later
got
on.
one more thing while we're talking about antiquated devices. Apple has added its 2011 13-inch MacBook Pro to its obsolete product list.
Ah.
2011, so it's only 5 years old. So earlier this week, this is Mac Rumors. They reported on Apple's plans to add select 2009 and 2011 model Macs to its vintage and obsolete products list on December 31st, including 15-inch and 17-inch MacBook Pro models from early 2011. So in the meantime, they've added. This was on this December 2nd. So this was last Friday. They added the 13-inch MacBook Pro from early 2011 to the list. The notebook is classified as vintage in California and Turkey and obsolete in the rest of the United States and the world.
Well, this is a MacBook 13-inch mid-2010. So I wonder if it's on the
It probably is.
antiquated.
Meanwhile, the iMac 20-inch from early 2009 and the 24-inch iMac from early 2009 are now considered fully obsolete worldwide.
Huh.
This means the pair of iMacs have lost their vintage status in California and Turkey and are no longer eligible for hardware service or new parts from Apple or Apple authorized service providers. And not to say it's obsolete means it's not worth anything, but that's the key is when they make it obsolete, you can't get service for it through authorized channels. And
Right.
some of these devices are getting harder and harder
Well,
to
what's
work
funny
on.
about this one is it has Mac OS Sierra. I can run Sierra off this product. it's been able to update on all the label. I'm expecting the next version of whatever that is.
Let's try to find yours real quick. I'm trying to
It's
look.
MacBook
Vintage and obsolete products.
13-inch mid 2010.
Yeah, hang on. I'm trying to make sure I save this link because we're gonna put this link in the show notes too.
Yeah, you can look it up too.
Vintage
See,
and obsolete products. So you have a MacBook 13-inch from when?
mid 2010.
Mid 2010. Let's see. There's mid 2009, late 2009, MacBook 13-inch. Late 2010, you said?
Mid 2010.
Mid 2010. Yep. That's MacBook Pro. Excuse me.
No, this is just a MacBook. It's the white one.
Apparently, it's not on the list.
Oh, it's still.
There's the mid 2009, late 2009 MacBooks, and then it says MacBook 13-inch with no date.
I got you. MacBook. Well, that might be covering all.
I'm
that.
thinking if it can take Sierra, it's still being supported. I would.
Well,
think.
to a point, obviously.
But yeah,
It does have a GeForce 320M, 256 megs RAM. So it's
Okay.
not too bad. Well, when we come back, the Hey Techie Show will continue with something else. I caught Guru off guard. We got to
you
stay
did.
on this clock here, Guru.
I know. It's hard we don't have our countdown.
We're on a chain. Actually, we could have had that break anywhere we wanted to. Hey Techie Show, be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
Cindy's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Cindy is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Cindy's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752. Struts of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Strut serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to strutswings.com.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
If you're not watching the video, you're missing out because as soon as that music started playing, Michael gave me this look.
I really wasn't.
Like he was rolling his eyes at me, like, "Why'd
I'll
you
be
pick that
honest
song,
with you.
Guru?"
No, I didn't mean it that way.
But
That's not.
Again, it was a mixed message coming across.
It was, but the other thing was this. I was thinking, well, that's a Bruce song right there.
Yeah, I like TSO.
Yeah, I know. I liked them too. They were excellent. I mean, I've never got to see them.
No, I've never seen him in concert.
But I bet it's pretty excellent.
Yeah, one of my friends has been before when it was in Birmingham, and they said they really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, in case you didn't hear the opening earlier when I was first hour, we talk about Amazon are actually going to open a store, and they have one that they've opened, is my understanding. It's called Amazon Go. How many times has somebody used that term? Not the Amazon part, but the Go part. And they've been developing this store for 4 years. It's going to be 1,800, pardon me, square foot store. It's near their headquarters in Seattle. Apparently, their employees have been shopping there already, and basically, it's going to be a automated store.
Okay.
It's a brick and mortar store, but it's automated. There's all kind of things like pressure sensors. Let's see here. cameras, then pressure sensors to detect when visitors have taken something off a shelf, and they add to their virtual shopping basket.
This seems too futuristic for my liking.
They're charged directly. Their online Amazon account.
So you take it off the shelf, they charge you for it.
Yeah. What if you
It's like at these fancy hotels when you take something out of the mini bar, they charge you for it, which doesn't work quite right, by the way. Because one time they tried to charge me for something in one of those hotel rooms. I'm like, I didn't take that. Just go look. It's still there.
Did
It must happen.
Look at it or something?
I don't know, but I looked at it the wrong way, I guess. I told them at the front desk, and they're like, okay, we'll take it off. So it must happen a lot, But anyway.
Apparently, this would be interesting to see how this will work. I guess you could start a discussion about how this would work depending on the sophistication of your shopper.
Okay.
Okay?
It's like compare you and me.
Well,
not sophisticated.
No.
We'll say Bruce very sophisticated, and we're not as sophisticated.
No, listen. Actually, it brings that up. It says, unlike the pressure sensors at many hotel mini bars, pardon me, consumers can remove an item from their basket and put it back without being charged. According to this, pardon me, good grief, I've gotten choked up here, Guru.
Yeah, Amazon does that to you sometimes.
Apparently so, but according to this, what they're actually going to do, is that they're using that and video cameras or closed circuit TV to identify which shopper has removed a product. So the point is the sophistication of the shopper going to come in to how this works?
Yeah, we'll see.
Or
we'll see.
If someone's trying to pull a fast one, how would this work? What about, and I know this, what about fake accounts? Like if you you could go in there and what if you take somebody's account? And you go in there and just clean the plate. I'm serious. I mean, there's a lot of things to answer here.
Like a two-factor going on.
Yeah. It doesn't really give, let's see. It just talks a little bit about Amazon, the actual company at the end. But it'd be interesting to see how this going forward.
Yeah.
Now, we had covered this story. This is an update story because there was not much known about it. We'd covered this story about a possibility that if this was going to happen, that they were going to bring these stores online.
Right.
I think other stores are going to try to do something similar to this if they're not already doing that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I actually found this week, independent of you finding this about the Amazon Go. I found this a couple days ago. But Walmart is they're getting this business. They have opened up a new concept store. I guess not a concept. These are actually real stores. And there's actually one right up the road from us in Huntsville, Alabama. So hopefully I can make it up there at some point because I'm just curious to check it out because I was in retail in a prior life and I like to kind of follow this. I like following this stuff. But Walmart is opening a new kind of gas station.
Oh, yeah.
They're calling it Walmart Pickup and Fuel. So as the name implies, they're going to sell fuel. And of course, let's see here. I'm trying to scroll through this. I actually read this, but I kind of forgot half of it because it's been a long day. But the new stores will offer grab-and-go items, like you expect in a normal convenience store, like hot sandwiches, healthy snacks, drinks. They'll have a coffee bar. They'll sell basic like milk, eggs, bread. Stuff if you go to the local convenience store. But in addition to that, in fuel, you'll be able to also pick up items at that location for grocery. Like if you need, like Walmart's. They're expanding their grocery service where you can order online. You can go to your local Walmart, pull up in designated parking, and somebody will come out and they'll bring your order to you and they'll put it in your car. Well, what they'll do is this is going to be a location where you can order grocery items. They'll actually go to a nearby Walmart big box store, retrieve those items and have them at this pick up and go location, almost like the park and go at the airport. It's a pick up and go. I made that term up, so I coined that, patented right here, Hey Techie Show. So.
Pick up and go?
Yeah, but the store's going to be open from 5 to 11 daily, and you'll be able to do the grocery pickup from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Customers can order grocery before 1 p.m. and pick them up the same day after 5 p.m. Which is going to be very convenient for people that work the 9 to 5ers, I guess you could say. The Walmart employees will pick and pack the groceries at a nearby Walmart Supercenter and load them to the customer's car at the Walmart Pickup and Fuel for free. And apparently, also besides Amazon doing this, apparently Kroger. I think I told you Publix before the show, but it's Kroger. They're investing heavily in online grocery as well. We don't have any Krogers in this part of the country. There's some over in Georgia, I believe, but Kroger offers online grocery pickup at more than 500 stores. But unlike Walmart, Kroger charges a fee for picking up online orders, which is about $4.95 per order in Richmond, Virginia. So. Yeah, I really want to try this Walmart grocery pickup, but it's not yet available in our part of the state. It's more, I think it's maybe I know in Huntsville it is. Maybe, I don't know about the Birmingham Metro or not. But anyway, this is an interesting concept. There's a picture also. It looks like more of like an artist rendering, not like the real photograph. But
Okay.
like I said, there is one in Huntsville, Alabama, and the other is in Thornton, Colorado. I'm not sure if that's a suburb of Denver or not. I'm gonna try to find out real quick because I should have looked before the show. But that's interesting. But they're trying to go after Amazon yet again. I have to give Walmart credit. They're trying to continue to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because these big box stores, a lot of them are suffering. We've lost a lot of, not say companies, but a lot of stores have closed locations. Sears is one of them. JCPenney's is still struggling, and those are they've been around for a long time.
Right.
So, yes, Thornton, Colorado is a suburb of Denver. It's kind of looks like to the northwest of Denver. It's 118,000 people. But I can see this Walmart pick up and go. Well, that's what I call it, pick up and go. Doing well in these very suburban areas with a lot of population. You work in the metros, the big urban areas, and as you go home, you just wheel on in and say, "I need my groceries. Let's pick them up."
By the way, apparently the article we were talking about it, if you don't know, if you're just joining us and you want to go back and listen to my ignorance, hey, knock yourself out.
Mine too.
Apparently, MPs is what I was wondering if this was the case. In this is members of Parliament. That's
Why
what they
can't
were.
they just put that in there?
Shorten and.
It's not like it's a newspaper and you run out of space. It's the internet. There's like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
come
It's
on.
cooler to say MPs.
Well, that was a UK article, so maybe that's a more common term
Probably.
across the
I guess I
pond.
just don't see it that much. Maybe that's what threw me off. But apparently so.
Yeah, it's like they make fun of us of our accent.
That's okay. A lot of people, I can live with that. Did you see this, Guru, that the Russian space cargo ship, they malfunctioned. It crashed in Siberia.
Uh-oh.
Blew up when they were sending it up. Now, it was unmanned.
All that vodka got wasted.
That's a good question.
I don't know if they put that on the cargo ship.
Yeah, it's the Progress cargo ship. Somebody later on down in one of these articles, they were joking about, well, it doesn't seem like it's much progress.
No.
Apparently, they've had several of these, let's see, recently. Well, over the last couple of years, I think.
I hate that. At least there was nobody on the ship because you can always replace this cargo.
Apparently, it had gotten to an altitude of 118 miles. And it rained down some debris, actually. Back down to Earth.
That's yeah, I guess I would be too.
It was supposed to be sending, if I've got this correct, sending some supplies up to the International Space Station. I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah. Yep, that's correct. So anyway, let's see. It says Progress cargo ship plunged into the Pacific Ocean. Oh, that's back a while. Oh, that's where I was getting to. I'm sorry. This is the third botched, apparently since 2014.
So they lost. This is the third one in 2 years.
Yeah. Which these things aren't cheap.
It's like tens of thousands of dollars a pound to send something up into orbit usually.
Yeah. I imagine that would be in the neighborhood, sure. Yeah, and I've got another interesting article related to that. Quickly, if I can pull it up, is why there was somebody asked an astronaut. I guess, why we send people up into space.
An astronaut asked that.
No, someone asked
Oh.
NASA, and I
Oh,
guess somebody.
they
And I
asked-
said he's actually an instructor of flight. His name was Robert Frost. His name is rather.
That's like the author Robert Frost. Isn't there an author named Robert Frost?
Why do we send humans into space? And a couple of things, real quick. I'm just going to cover this real quick. This was from Newsweek, and sometimes you can see Newsweek articles, and sometimes you can't. But one is to serve as experiment subjects, then perform easy for me to say, experiments that require dexterity, which a lot of these, it doesn't make sense to me. It wasn't no worse. And then replace and repair broken equipment. Now,
Not repeal and replace?
no, not repeal, but replace and repair broken equipment, such as things that apparently they have been working to try to figure out how to use robotics in a lot of these areas. But some of the robotics are just not, they don't have the dexterity to be able to do a lot of these things.
Right. I can see that.
Will they ever? I don't know. We'll see. But some of these things that you have to physically go out and do something on the outside of the craft, what have you, to fix something if you had to, I can't imagine. I want to stay here on Earth. Y'all can have Mars. You can go off on all these
And-
missions.
and
As
I'm-
cool as it sounds, I'm just going to watch it on TV.
I have mixed feelings because I think it would be so cool to experience that, but at the same time, it would scare the
Yeah, I
living
know.
daylights out of me.
Yeah.
Because oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm just torn. Somebody else is gonna pay for it. I'd really have to think about it. Really would have to think about it. So
You really would.
I really would. I'm serious. I would
Well,
have to. I wouldn't just say no. You would say no, like
I probably would,
so.
yes.
If somebody offers it to you, just tell them come call me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Deal.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You heard it here, folks. So if he backs out on his deal, we'll make sure we'll call him out.
Somebody
on
who wants to send me up to into space, right?
it. Yeah.
Nah, it's okay. That just doesn't interest me, but whatever.
To each his own.
That's true. Well, foot. It looks like my my browser locked up.
Well,
Figures.
That's too bad. It's an almost obsolete MacBook.
That's true. It is. That's a good point. That's the problem. It's almost obsolete.
So we need to start a crowdfunding campaign to replace.
I think we had
Michael's MacBook.
Right. No, let's not do that. I think we had like one rumor, didn't we, or some kind
Yes,
of
we did.
something available in the rumors.
Yeah, let's get this little.
Well, we'll just play our little rumors jingle here.
Of course, a show doesn't sound cool without jingles.
No.
So we'll leave that kind of low in the background. Go a little bit lower.
It's fine. Sounds good.
Yeah. Just have a little less control over the slides in here versus the studio at the radio station. So where did that rumor go? Oh, you're the one that found it.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't find any rumors this week.
Really?
I looked. I scoured the internets, and it's just a slow week for rumors. We can always start some rumors. We're good at starting stuff around here.
Yeah, this happens to have to do with Apple. Shockingly, I don't know if some people have seen the news,
This
but
Mac rumor segment is brought to you by.
Yeah, right. They sent an actual. They actually sent a letter. Pardon me, apologize. Can't talk tonight. To the government, letting the government know that they are still interested in actually continuing their process to be able to build a car, an automated car of some type. They still think it's very interesting technology, very valuable. They believe that it can save lives. That's what they've doubled down with. Now, of course, as you know, if you've listened to this show or if you've been reading and paying attention, they axed pretty much their large staff that they had hired on to research an actual Apple car. And of course, it was nicknamed at the time and rumored Titan. So we'll see how this goes, see where this goes further. But as I said, according to a letter that they sent to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, well, it's fun to say, isn't it?
That's right.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
And just like any good government organization, they have an acronym that you can't pronounce.
NHTSA.
Yeah, that's it. You wouldn't be a
course,
government
Google-
entity without an acronym.
Of course, Google has been far way ahead of them and many others. And then if you got to get Tesla some credit too, they have done some amazing
Yeah.
technology put in their cars to be able to do driver assistant driving is what I call it, assisted driving. Some people
Yeah.
are using it for autopilot like you fly a plane. But anyway, and of course that's led to all kind of issues. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, this is kind of one of the first times Apple's been very open, I guess, publicly. Not publicly, but when you write a letter to the government, it's basically public. Because a lot of these rumors we've had is just been, well, this person got hired and these people no longer work in the company. I mean, people like scoured the internet trying to figure out this information. This is like one of the first times Apple's kind of expressed this interest in this type of form to where it's not like, oh, we heard such and such doing this. No, this is Apple said this to the government, so now it's out there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, when we come back, we will have This Week in Tech History. And I will attempt to embarrass myself.
You may not. You may get it right.
Oh, yes, I will. Hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
If you missed it live, then catch the Hey Techies Rewind, Sundays at noon.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Struts of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Strut serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to strutswings.com. Sydney's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Sydney is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Sydney's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring ting tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
Bruce, this is for you.
Yeah, missing him tonight.
I picked this song out specifically for him because I know how much he loves Reliant K.
He does.
I got a whole album of Reliant K Christmas songs, so I shouldn't have said that now because now I have to find more that I like. 'Cause I don't like them all, but I did like that one. I thought it was really good. So
There we go.
I got it on my playlist. I always like to listen to Christmas music when
Right.
I'm out and about this time of year.
Sure. So we turn this profitable show. Oh, by the way, I got to correct something. Our Hey Techie Rewind is at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah,
In case you want to
our
catch it on the
I
radio.
got the
Yeah,
old
that's
version of the
old.
bumper.
It was at 12 noon for a while, and then some things got adjusted around, and they have a show, and so we had some. But when we're not preempted by basketball or other sporting events on Sunday, it's at 1 p.m.
That's
Central
1,
Standard Time.
2, 3.
1 to
p.m.
3.
1 to
Yeah,
3.
so-
And I think one of these weeks we need to actually do a live show on Sunday at 1 p.m. That'd be like awesome.
Yeah.
We'll surprise our listeners. Like,
Sure.
This is not recorded. This is a live.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We
I'm
need-
giving that some thoughts.
We need to do that every once in a while just to kind of shake it up a little bit.
Sure. Shake it up. Shake it up.
That's right.
Shake it up.
I wish I had that song convenient Taylor Swift, but I don't. So
Shake it off.
Or is it Shake It Off? Not
That's
Shake It Up.
That's shake it off. That's
See,
right.
Bruce is supposed to correct me about that, not you when it comes
Well,
to
yeah, because
Swift.
Taylor. Oh, don't touch.
That's right.
Okay, so this week in tech history,
And Bruce is not here to guess.
No,
so we'll
he's
have
not.
we'll have to do with Michael because I already know the answer, so I can't guess. So for those of you who are new to the show, welcome, first of all. And secondly, what we do with this little piece is it turned into a little trivia thing a couple weeks into us doing this. So now I give Bruce, usually now this week, Michael, the date only. And just by the date, you have to guess what I have found that happened. And it happened within the last week on this date.
sometime in history, and sometimes in the future.
Yeah, we
You-
did. We
you
did.
did
We
do
did
that.
the future one
Yeah,
time.
you did.
So,
Okay,
so you're
I'm-
you
I'm-
ready for your date?
I'm gonna think about it.
No googling allowed.
Oh,
So your date is December the 3rd of 2001.
2001,
So let me.
December the 3rd. Well, we had a terrorist attack.
That was in September.
No, I know, but we had one.
That's true. Unfortunately, but true.
I don't know.
You don't even want to guess.
I don't know, Guru.
It's 15 years ago.
Oh, would it have anything to do with personal transportation?
It may.
It may.
And usually I don't give these hints to Bruce, but I will give them to you because you're the chief techie.
Yeah, I should know these.
There's perks to being the chief techie, and that's one of them. I will answer hints. So yes, it has to do with personal transportation.
Instead of walking.
Well, personal transportation, walking.
Well, I mean, you could
walking's
call
one-
a car personal transport. You're transferring yourself personally.
Instead of walking, the answer is yes. Yes, that's correct.
It's not one of those its, is it? What do you
Yes.
call those? Well, that's what I called it. I don't know what it's called.
Well, what is it called?
I don't know. I
Well-
call it it.
Well, this laptop in front of me is it.
I don't know.
I can't-
I didn't get it. I
Well,
don't.
come
I don't
on,
have,
you-
I don't have it. I don't have
Oh,
it.
I gotta buzz you. I hate to buzz you.
That's your favorite thing.
Well, no, I wanted to give you. I got this audio track of people clapping.
Oh, there we go.
I wanted to play that.
Segway.
Yes.
Ah, the Segway was announced. Well, did Steve Jobs have something to do with that, or did he? Well, didn't he?
No. Inventor Dean Kamen unveils the Segway self-balancing battery-powered vehicle on the TV show Good Morning America on December 3rd of 2001. The Segway uses computers and motors to keep its base the motors in its base to keep itself upright while the user is riding it. Users shift their weight to control the Segway. guess you weren't aware. While not considered a commercial success, the Segway has definitely become a familiar icon of personal transportation.
Oh,
And I will say this, I have actually ridden Segways several
Yes.
times, and if you go to certain tourist destinations, I'll just put it that way, there's companies that offer Segway tours where, instead of, using bikes or some other way of getting around, you're all on Segways, and they take you around. I actually did one in Washington, D.C., and it was an awesome tour. Highly recommended.
highly recommended.
Yeah, and the Segway was cool, but the tour was like awesome. So
Really?
good way of seeing it started down south of not south, I guess it'd be, trying to think a map, to the opposite, like White House, Capitol. So
Yes.
So the White House is west of the Capitol.
Okay.
So it was west of the White House. It kind of started back there is where their store was, and they did a little like orientation to get familiar with riding. Then you went off on the tour.
Did you ever feel like you were going to fall?
A couple times, yes, especially at the beginning. But the more you rode, the more
Sure,
familiar,
the better
the more
Right.
accustomed and
Sure.
acclimated. But we went from there to the White House, up Pennsylvania Avenue, stopped at like the FBI building, the Canadian embassies on Pennsylvania, several different stops up Pennsylvania Avenue.
Sure.
Went up to the Capitol, went all the way to the north side of the north. No, it's not really the north. It's the east front. There's not backs and fronts, but they're all fronts, like east front, west front. The other side where it's opposite, like the Supreme Court. Got
Never been there, but okay.
Yeah, you should.
I've
go.
seen pictures.
Yeah.
Right.
Came
You really
back around the other side of the Capitol, went up the National Mall.
Yes.
Several different stops on the way. Ended up at the Lincoln Memorial.
Okay. The Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, the Lincoln Memorial because that's on. I'm trying to think. No, the Washington Monument. Then you keep going further. The reflecting
Lincoln
pool.
Memorial.
Lincoln
Be the other
Memorial.
side.
So that's all the way the whole length of the mall. And then when you're back that far, you're just kind of a block or two up from their place, and you end up back. It's like maybe about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But you got to see a lot of stuff in that short period of time. Plus, you had a
Wow.
tour guide with you. Plus, you got to ride the Segways, and it was like a really good price too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're interested in that, I can tell you the actual company. I don't want to give them an endorsement on air because they do not advertise for this radio station. But you can email me, and I will be glad to share. That is guru@heytakeshow.com. Or questions at heytakeshow.com. So
That's right.
I just wasted like 8 minutes talking about Segways.
No, that's okay.
But good guess, Michael. I'm
well,
so
I
proud of
don't
you.
think it's a guess.
You guessed it because I buzzed you, but I hadn't told you what the answer was yet. So
I'm buzzed.
I'm
buzzed.
we're-
I ran out of time.
we're gonna give you that too.
The buzz.
Now, if you'd been on Jeopardy, that thinking music was over with like 2 minutes. So
Yeah, I know.
Alex Trebek said, "I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to count that as wrong."
Now, we normally have the hack of the week.
Yeah, but our resident hacker's not.
Well, I've got one, which is it is a hack of a week to a point, but I found this today, and I got to tell you something. And I told Guru about this before the show started. I told him about it. Apparently, a couple in Texas, Frisco nonetheless, which we have a connection with Frisco here at the university. We've played there last year's national championship for our division.
And not making it this year.
No, that is correct. But anyway, this couple apparently they are suing Toyota because the Toyota business there locally where they were purchasing car has been accused of, and this actually happened in 2015, a year ago. I'm sort of finding this information out.
Yeah.
They are accused of taking a photo that was on the client's phone, an intimate photo that was taken at some point. The man must have took of his wife, and while the dealership person was looking for something else, he stumbled across this, took this photo, and emailed it to himself.
So why were they looking through the phone in the first place?
Well, what happened was a gentleman named Tim and his wife Claire wanted to purchase a vehicle. And so they went to a Toyota dealership.
Well, like you do if you want
Right,
a Toyota,
but they
you go
were-
to a Toyota dealer.
Right, sure. And Tim and his wife, they had saved some pre-approved financing documents on Tim's phone. So the intent was Tim was going to give his phone to the dealer, the person they were working with, the salesperson.
Yeah.
They were going to take it and either show whoever needed to see the pre-approved financing documents.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right. But it took 5 minutes. 5 minutes, he didn't have his phone. Well, when he got his phone back, Tim noticed something odd. He noticed that he went to pull the documents back up because he was going to go look at them, and I guess look at them while he was discussing. And he noticed that a picture that Tim had of his wife was selected. It had been viewed.
Okay.
He was digging around, and he later found that picture had been emailed to what's called a swingers website.
Okay.
Of his wife, apparently in what they claim was an intimate picture, private picture. According to this article, Claire is stated as saying, "My husband took a photograph of me in a private moment in our home. I never imagined anyone else would see it, let alone they would send my picture to an email addressee associated with swingers. We were at the Toyota dealership to buy a car and not to share anything about our lives with the people there." So this has gone very far because now they are suing the Toyota company and this Toyota sales place for $1 million. And they got none other
$1 million.
$1 million. They got none other than Gloria. What's her name? She's been on Fox News. Gloria Allred is her name. She's a big, well-known attorney. She's been on. I know she's on the media all the time. They bring her in. You've seen her, but you probably don't put it together. Well, this is what she looks like right there.
I see it right here.
Yeah. Any Gloria Allred. Anyway, she is helping them.
So she's representing the couple.
And I'm sure she's giddy to get it.
Well,
but here's the thing: what I haven't told you, a little piece of this information that I haven't said.
Yeah, don't keep anything from me.
Yeah, is Tim is a pastor
Ooh.
in Frisco at Hope Fellowship.
Uh-oh.
Now, here's the thing: we could talk about all kind of different aspects of this, but here's the thing that I want to cover, and we've talked about it on this show. Your phone, as secure as you think it might be, if it's out of your possession, especially if you've given somebody the ability to look in it, everybody is not discreet. Right. Everybody is not.
Well, yeah, and we've talked about encrypting your phone. Apple has an encryption,
right? Sure.
They say they encrypt by default, and Google has it, and all that good stuff. But in this case, the owner of the device unlocked the phone for this person. But
and their intent was that they only look at this document and get the needs out of that. But apparently this person is one of those individuals. For instance, this person is also one of those individuals, no doubt, that if they saw a $20 bill on the floor with a lot of people around, they would just pick it up and pocket it instead of asking everybody around, "Hey, did you drop this?"
Yeah.
That's the kind of individual we're talking about here. But see, you've got to be savvy here. You got to assume that you don't know this individual. But here's the thing. They probably took this picture and he probably forgot it's on his phone. It's not at the top of his mind all the time.
Right.
I think it's questionable why they should have done this anyway, given that he is a pastor and a pastor's wife. I think it's just bound to be found. In their business, I'm not really getting. I'm just pointing out that it's odd. It's just odd. I just find it fascinating that this happened.
Odd and fascinating at the same time.
At the same time, but apparently, law enforcement did arrest the man, Thomas, back in 2015.
So who's Thomas?
He's the sales clerk.
Oh, the sales
that apparently they did find. See, they found on Tim's phone where it had been emailed. So they had found in an app where that actually had been emailed, and they were able to recover who it went to and all that type of stuff. So they got a good case here. I mean, obviously they have a good case. It should have never happened. But be careful who you give your phone to.
Oh, yes.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes here left for a quick overclock stack.
We have a sound effect.
And Guru has a sound effect. Guru, did you ever want to go listen to a $55,000 set of Sennheiser headphones?
Sure. I just can't
I
afford
didn't even
them.
realize there were $55,000 sci-fi headphones. They're called the HE1s. They were 20 years in the making. And in New York City, there is a Sennheiser store.
I didn't realize
And
there
that,
was one.
well, apparently so. And that's where you can go listen to. They have their own tubes that are associated with it and an amp. So it's got
Well,
these
for-
special tubes. I'm not going to. We don't have time for the whole thing, but anyway, it's just
I
interesting.
want to try them out, but just bring them to a Sennheiser. We'll try them out for you.
Right.
Chemists officially add new elements to the periodic table. You remember the periodic table from
yes.
high school chemistry and those
Oh,
that took
yes.
chemistry in college? Well, they've added 3 new elements. Neodymium, NH is the symbol. Moscovium, MC. Tennessine, TS, and Organicin, OG, respectively. These 4 super heavy elements, they break down the lighter elements quickly. But they were synthesized between 2002 and 2010 by Japanese, Russian, and American teams, teams or scientists. So there you go. 4 more elements that our school kids have got to memorize.
Well, a Game of Thrones star wants everybody to stop going to dolphin shows.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. Macy Williams, I believe is her name. And apparently, all of you Game of Thrones people, she is saying, hey, if we don't stop going to these dolphin shows, she's referring to the ones in Japan, then they will not stop capturing them, and the killings will continue. So, just FYI.
Well, this is real quick. I know we got like 20 seconds.
No, go ahead.
But I won't share the whole thing. I'll put the link in the show notes from Mashable. Apparently, there was a little Twitter war between Donald Trump and Alec Baldwin. And if you've been watching Saturday Night
Well, it's a
Live,
shame.
Alec Baldwin's the one that's been playing Trump on their little monologues and cold opens and stuff. So just go to this link we'll put in the show notes.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your evening with us. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the Hey Techie Show, and we plan to be live on the 15th. So from all of us to all of you, have an absolutely fabulous weekend.
The Hey Techie Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Program director is Jefferson Varner. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techie Show. It's going to be great, maybe.